This week promises a dazzling display of groundbreaking AI tools for all AI fans. We're talking AI that can compose entire songs from scratch, give voices emotions, conjure up stunning images from thin air, manipulate videos in ways you won't believe, and even sculpt 3D models in seconds. If you think AI is just getting started, think again. This video is packed with the latest and greatest breakthroughs that are changing the game right now. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss a single one of these insane AI reveals. Let's dive in. All right, let's start with the world of AI music generation because things are getting seriously interesting. We've got a brand new tool on the scene, and it's a game changer because it's completely open source, and it's called UE AI. This isn't just some little melody maker. We're talking about an AI that can whip up entire songs from scratch, full verses, choruses, the whole shebang, all based on a simple text prompt. Think of it like telling Udio or Suno what you want, but this time, it's all happening in the open source realm. You just give it lyrics, pick a genre, anything from pop to metal, and boom, it crafts a song for you, usually a few minutes long. Let's check out some examples to really hear what it's capable of. For our first demo, we went for a genre blend. Inspiring female uplifting pop, airy vocal, electronic, bright vocal. Pretty specific, right? And for the lyrics, here's a sample it came up with.
Staring at the sunset colors paint the sky. Thoughts of you keep swirling, can't deny. I know I let you down and make mistakes, but I'm here to mend the heart I didn't break. Every word you take out, there was stuff behind every dream. You're a chase, I reach you by the light. You can't fight this for now. I won't back down. You know you can't deny it now. I won't back down. They might say I'm foolish chasing after you, but I don't feel it's a love the way you do. My heart beats only for you, can't you see? I won't let you slip away from me. I wait.
Pretty cool, huh? Now, what's really neat is that if you keep the exact same prompt genre and lyrics and hit generate again, you get a totally different version.
Staring at the sunset, colors paint the sky. Thoughts of you keep swirling, can't deny. I know I let you down, I made mistakes, but I'm here to mend a heart I didn't break. Every road you take, I'll be one step behind. Every day we'll chase some major for the light. You can't fight this feeling now, I won't back down. You know you can't deny it now, I won't back down. I'm foolish chasing after you, but they don't feel this love.
It's still pop, still fits the vibe, but it's a fresh take, showing you the AI isn't just spitting out the same thing every time. Okay, pop is fun, but what about something with a bit more edge? Let's try rap. We told UE AI. Rap, piano, street tough, piercing vocal, hip-hop synthesizer, clear vocal male.
Woke up in the morning, sun is shining bright, chasing all my dreams, gotta get my mind.
Now, it definitely sounds like rap, you can hear the vibe. However, and this is something to note, it gets a little creative with the lyrics sometimes. It might skip lines, jump around a bit, not perfectly stick to the input lyrics, but in a way, it's almost like it's freestyling. Let's listen.
Bright city lights are fading, but my vision's clear. Got my team beside me, no room for fear. Walking through the streets, beats inside my head. Every step I take closer to the bridge. This is my life, and I'm aiming for the top. Never gonna quit, no, I'm never gonna stop. Through the highs and lows, I'ma keep it real, living out my dreams. With this mic Kennedy, late nights grinding, writing down his rhymes. Clock is ticking fast, can't afford to waste time. Haters gonna hate, but I brush it off. Turn the negativity into something strong. Mama working hard, wanna make her proud. Echoes of her prayers cutting through the crowd.
See how it's kind of doing its own thing towards the end? It's like it takes the initial idea and then just runs with it, which is pretty wild in its own way. Now for a change of pace, how about some jazz? For this one, we went for a more mellow vibe. Female blues, airy vocal, bright vocal, piano, sad romantic guitar jazz.
In the quiet of the evening, shadows start to fall. Whispers of the night theme echo through the hall. Lost within the silence, I hear your gentle voice, guiding me back homeward, making my heart rejoice. Don't let this moment, they hold me close tonight. With you here beside me, everything's alright.
Very nice, very smooth, right? It really captures that jazz feel, and the vocals are lovely. It's impressive how it can switch gears so dramatically from rap to something as different as jazz. But hold on, because UEAI can go even further to the extreme end of the spectrum. If you're ready for something a bit louder, let's try heavy metal. Just a heads up, you might want to turn down your speakers a tad for this one.
Step back as all ignites. Won't quit without a fight. Those can't get up with the fist fight. Raise up, put your hands up in lights. Feel the right, step back as all ignite. Won't back down without a fight. The game's going and going, the heat is on. And one theme.
Whoa! Yeah, UEAI has absolutely no problem handling screaming vocals and the intensity of heavy metal. It's pretty impressive that it can go from gentle jazz to full-on metal mayhem. And it's not just limited to English either. This AI can even sing in different languages. We gave it lyrics that were a mix of Japanese, English, and even a bit of Korean. Let's see what happened.
No pain, you know the only one on our brain. I know the only one. I know you got another love. I know, whoa, the over the well. I look at the bar, in love with you. You don't know you beside me. Oh yeah, how hard do you want me? And I wanna be your number one. Come a little closer. Take my hand, what will you be mine? Calling mama, calling Sora, oh, it goes, she there. To the day, to your world. You are second me, just wanna be yours. Just take my hand, boy, we'll be mine. I look at it, brother, you're the one, oh, it goes, she there.
Did you catch that? Towards the end, it even threw in some auto-tune and synth voice effects. That's just insane. The fact that all of this is coming from a free and open source AI that you can actually use right now is mind-blowing. Remember, all you need is to specify the genre and the lyrics, and it conjures up a full song, verses, choruses, everything. Now, if you're thinking of jumping in and trying this out yourself, you can find all the instructions and download links on the GitHub page, which I've linked at the top of the description. Just a heads up, it does need a decent graphics card to run smoothly. We're talking at least 16 GB of VRAM and ideally 24 GB or more for the best experience, so it is quite demanding on your computer. It's under the Apache 2 license, which basically means you're free to use it for pretty much anything you want, even for commercial projects. And the beauty of open source is that the community is already working on making it more accessible. I'm sure we'll soon see quantized versions, which are optimized to run on less powerful GPUs, meaning you could run it on computers with lower VRAM. Now let's be real. The audio quality isn't quite up there with the super polished outputs you get from paid services like Udio or Suno yet. But for a completely free and open source tool, it's seriously impressive and packed with potential. Definitely check out the GitHub link in the description to explore it further yourself. Alright, buckle up image lovers, because we've got a brand new contender in the world of AI image generation, and it's seriously turning heads. Meet Lumina Image 2.0, a fresh, free, and open-source image generator that's punching way above its weight. What's so special about it? Well, it's incredibly efficient. We're talking high-quality images from a model that's surprisingly small. To give you some perspective, Lumina Image 2.0 is built with only 2.6 billion parameters. Now, parameters are basically like the brain power of an AI model. The more you have, generally the bigger and more complex it is. But get this. Models like Flux, which is a comparable image generator, can have around 12 billion parameters. That's almost 6 times larger than Lumina. Despite its smaller size, Lumina Image 2.0 can generate images at a crisp 1024 resolution, which is fantastic. Under the hood, it's using some clever tech. It uses Gemma 2 as its text encoder. That's the part that understands your text prompts, and Flux for its VAE, which is a bit more technical but essentially helps create those detailed, realistic images. And speaking of realistic images, just take a look at some examples. You can see for yourself it absolutely nails those realistic scenes. And here's a really cool trick. It's actually really good at generating text within images. Think logos, signs, anything with words. Lumina can handle it surprisingly well. Plus, you're not limited to just English prompts. It understands prompts in different languages too. But it's not all about photorealism. Lumina Image 2.0 is also a fantastic artist in its own right, capable of generating a wide range of artistic styles. Whether you're into paintings, sketches, digital art, you name it, it can adapt its style to match your vision. And here's a feature that's seriously cool and unique. It can generate multiple images within a single image. Want to compare different versions side by side? No problem. For example, you could ask it to create a split image showing a canny edge map on the bottom half and the original image on the top, for a direct visual comparison of the AI's edge detection. Or, how about this? Ask it for a 2-panel image showing a face transforming from a rough sketch on the left to a hyper-realistic portrait on the right. Seriously impressive stuff. Now, if you're itching to try this out yourself, there are several hugging face spaces where you can use Lumina online for free, right in your browser. Just type in your prompt and let it work its magic. But for those who like to tinker, Lumina Image 2.0 also offers some really interesting advanced settings. One of the coolest is the system prompt. Think of the system prompt as giving Lumina Image 2.0 a role or a set of instructions that guides all of its image generations. It's like saying, "Hey Lumina, from now on you are a..." and then you fill in the blank. For example, instead of just a regular prompt, you can set the system prompt to, "You are a professional photographer." By doing this, you're telling Lumina to think like a pro photographer. And all the images it generates will be geared towards realistic, professional-looking photos. Then, in the main prompt box, you just give it the subject of the photo you want. You also have the option to add a negative prompt. This is where you list all the things you don't want to see in the image. And of course, you can adjust the image width and height, and tweak other settings if you're familiar with image generation tools. Let's put this system prompt idea to the test. We'll start with a simple prompt, a portrait of a woman in the city. And with the system prompt, "You are a professional photographer," let's see what we get. Okay, nice portrait, woman in the city, does the job. Now, let's change the system prompt to "You are a cartoonist," and keep the main prompt the same. Let's run it again and see the difference. Wow, totally different style. It's given us a cartoon-style portrait exactly as instructed. Let's try another one. "You are a 3D artist." And there we go, a 3D rendered portrait. How about "You are a sketch artist"? Boom, a beautiful sketch-style portrait. You can really see how powerful this system prompt feature is in shaping the output. Let's push it a bit further. What if we try to generate a logo? Let's change the system prompt to "You are a logo designer," and the main prompt to design a logo containing text AI Quest. Let's generate and see what happens. Okay, so the logo isn't amazing. We've got some spelling mistakes in the text, and the design isn't super polished. But hey, let's remember, this is a really small model compared to the giants out there. And honestly, for a model this size to even attempt logo design and text generation is pretty impressive. I'm willing to bet with some clever prompt engineering, you could get much better results, especially with text within images in general, as we saw earlier. What's really exciting about Lumina Image 2.0 is how it stacks up against other image generators, even the big boys. When you compare it to models of similar sizes like SDXL or Stable Diffusion 3, or even larger models like DAL-E3 or NVIDIA's SAA, Lumina Image 2.0 often comes out on top in benchmark tests. That's a huge deal for such a compact model. It means you're getting incredible quality and efficiency. If you're ready to dive in, the models are already available on Hugging Face for you to download. And remember, it's completely free and open source. I've linked the GitHub page in the description below so you can explore all the details, download the models, and start experimenting. All right, get ready to have your mind blown because this next AI is seriously next-level stuff. It's called Diffusion Renderer, and it comes straight out of NVIDIA, the graphics powerhouse. What does it do? Imagine giving it a regular video, just like any video you'd shoot on your phone. Diffusion Renderer can then look at that video and basically understand the 3D world within it. It can figure out the shape and depth of everything you see, what kind of materials objects are made of, and a bunch of other hidden properties you wouldn't normally be able to see. Think of it like this. You watch a video of a bouncing ball. Diffusion Renderer can not only see the ball, but it can also estimate how far away it is at each moment, that's depth, the shape of its surface, that's geometry, and even things like its color without any shadows or highlights, that's albedo. But it goes way beyond just depth. It also figures out the normals, which are like little arrows pointing outwards from every surface in the video. Why are normals important? Because they're crucial for realistic lighting and shading. They tell you how light will bounce off each surface. It also calculates the albedo we mentioned, which is like the object's true base color before lighting messes with it. Plus, it can even estimate how metallic or reflective objects are and how rough or smooth their surfaces are. Let's look at some examples to really see this in action. On the top left, you see the original video. Then next to it, you can see Diffusion Renderer's estimations. It's visualizing the depth as a kind of grayscale image. Brighter means closer, darker means further away. Then you see the normals, which look like a rainbow of colors, each color representing a different surface direction. And then you see the albedo, metallic properties and roughness, all extracted just from watching the video. Here's another example with a more complex scene, packed with different objects. And even in scenes like this, Diffusion Renderer can break it down and estimate all those properties for everything in the frame. It's pretty incredible how well it handles complex scenes. Now, why is all this understanding of depth, materials, and lighting so powerful? Because once the AI understands all of this about a video, you can start doing some seriously crazy manipulations. Like imagine changing the color of objects in the video, or completely tweaking the lighting, or even making things more or less reflective, all after the video has been shot. Check out these examples of relighting. The original video is always on the left, but look at the versions on the right. They've completely changed the lighting, making it brighter, darker, shifting the light source, all digitally. Notice how the shadows and highlights change realistically in each version. And if you compare this with older relighting techniques, you can really see how much more accurate and consistent Diffusion Renderer is. It just looks way more believable. And it's not just lighting. You can also play with the roughness and reflectiveness of objects. Take a look at this. In the top row, watch how the ball and the horse change. They go from matte and rough to shiny and reflective, and everything in between. Same thing with the objects in the bottom row. It's like having a digital material editor for real-world videos. But here's where it gets really cool. Because Diffusion Renderer understands the geometry and lighting of a scene, you can even insert completely new objects into the video, and it will make them look like they were always there, perfectly lit and integrated into the scene. Want to add a bathtub into a video? Boom! It just drops it in, and the lighting and shadows match perfectly. How about a table? Seamless. It's like magic. So how does this sorcery work? Without getting too technical, it basically works in two stages. First, it takes your video and runs it through what they call a diffusion model in an inverse rendering stage. Think of inverse rendering as figuring out the hidden properties of the scene, like depth, color, materials, by looking at the final video. It estimates these properties one by one. Then it moves to a forward rendering stage. This stage takes those estimations and uses them to generate new frames of the video. But here's the key. It can generate these new frames under different conditions, different lighting, different material properties, or with new objects inserted, based on what you want to change. Finally, it stitches those new frames together to create the output video. The real game changer here is that Diffusion Renderer does all of this without needing any fancy 3D models or lighting setups beforehand. Traditional methods for this kind of video manipulation often require a lot of manual work and precise 3D data. But Diffusion Renderer can just take a regular video and intelligently estimate and edit everything directly. It's a huge leap forward in making video editing and manipulation way more powerful and accessible. I've linked the project page in the description below, so definitely go check it out to see more demos and read all the details. Alright, 3D creators, listen up because we've got something seriously cool to talk about. Get ready to meet DiffSplat, a brand new AI that's making waves in the world of 3D model generation. What's so special about it? Well, it can conjure up 3D models from just a simple text prompt or even an image, and it does it incredibly fast. Now, DiffSplat creates models in a slightly different way than you might be used to. Instead of the usual meshes and polygons, it uses something called a Gaussian splat. Imagine it like this. Instead of building a 3D object with surfaces, DiffSplat creates it as a cloud of tiny colored points floating in 3D space. Think of a pointillist painting, but in 3D. And the amazing thing about this approach is the speed. We're talking lightning fast. It can generate a 3D model in just 1 or 2 seconds. Seriously, blink, and you might miss it being created. Just to show you what it can do, take a look at these examples. These 3D models were all generated just from text descriptions. You type in what you want, maybe a futuristic robot or a stylized tree, and boom, DiffSplat whips up a 3D model for you in seconds. But it's not just text. You can also give it an image, and it will generate a 3D model based on that image. Check out these examples where we fed it images of characters. Even if the character is super detailed and complex, DiffSplat manages to capture the essence and create a 3D model from it. What's even more impressive is that it can actually figure out what the back of the character would look like, even if it's not visible in the original image. It's making educated guesses and filling in the 3D form in a really smart way. Let's peek under the hood a little bit to see how it works without getting too technical. Basically, you give DiffSplat either a text description or an image. This input then goes into what's called a diffusion model. Now, if you've been following AI image generation, you might have heard of models like Stable Diffusion or Flux. Well, a diffusion model is kind of similar. It's a powerful AI that can generate images, and in this case, it's helping to generate 3D shapes. The cool thing is, DiffSplat is flexible. You could potentially plug in different image generators like SDXL, PixArt, or even Stable Diffusion 3 and use them as the engine for creating the 3D model. After the diffusion model does its thing, the data goes through a latent decoder. Think of this as a translator that turns the AI's understanding into the actual 3D Gaussian splat model. And there's also a clever component called 3D rendering loss. This is a bit more technical, but basically, it makes sure that the 3D model looks consistent and solid no matter what angle you view it from. It's making sure the 3D shape holds up. But here's where DiffSplat gets even more versatile. It's not just about creating 3D models from scratch. You can also take an existing 3D object and use DiffSplat to remix or reimagine it in different ways. For example, you can have DiffSplat estimate the normal map of an object. Think of a normal map as capturing the surface details and bumps of a 3D shape. It's like understanding the texture and form. Then, you can combine this normal map with a new text description like steampunk robot. And DiffSplat will generate a brand new 3D object that keeps the original shape and surface details, but transforms its style to fit the steampunk theme. Or, instead of a normal map, you can have DiffSplat extract the depth map of an object. A depth map is like a grayscale image that shows how far away each point of the object is from the viewer. You can then use this depth information, along with a different text prompt, to generate new 3D models that maintain a similar depth structure, but with completely different looks. And it doesn't stop there. You can even extract the edge map of an object, basically just the outlines and contours, and then use those edges as a guide to create completely new 3D models based on different text prompts. It's like using the basic shape as a starting point and then letting your imagination run wild with different styles and themes. So, DiffSplat is a really powerful and flexible tool for 3D model generation, and it's incredibly fast. If you're interested in diving deeper and trying it out yourself, the developers have already released a GitHub repository. That's where you'll find all the instructions on how to download it, install it, and run it locally on your own machine. I'll put a link to this main page in the description below so you can explore it further. Okay, let's talk video generation. And get ready because Alibaba has just dropped a brand new AI video generator that's seriously impressive. It's called Wanx. The videos this thing creates are genuinely top tier. We're talking quality that can actually go head to head with and even beat some of the best paid video generation models out there right now. That's a big deal. And the best part? You can actually try Wanx out for yourself right now, completely free, through Alibaba's platform called Qwen Chat. It's super simple to use. Just hop over to Qwen Chat, type in your video prompt in the text box, and then look for the video generation option. You can even pick your video's aspect ratio, like widescreen or vertical, before you hit that generate button. Seriously, while it's still free and open to use, I highly recommend jumping in and playing around with it. This kind of free access to cutting-edge video AI might not last forever, so now's the time to experiment and see what you can create. Now, if you're curious to see a more in-depth look and a direct comparison of Wanx against other leading video models like Kling V1.6 and even the much-hyped Sora, I've actually already put together a full review video. I break down the strengths and weaknesses, compare the quality side by side, and give you a real sense of how Wanx stacks up in the current AI video landscape. So, if you want to dive deeper and really see Wanx in action, definitely check out that video. I've linked it on the screen right now, and it'll also be in the description below. You won't want to miss seeing just how good this free video generator actually is. Alright, DeepSeek is back in the spotlight, and they're dropping another AI bomb this week. Just when you thought they couldn't get any more impressive, they've unleashed Janus-Pro, a brand new multimodal AI model that can generate images. Now, is it Janus or Janus? So I'm leaning towards Janus, like the two-faced Roman god, which might hint at its multimodal nature, but either way, the tech is amazing. Just like their DeepSeek R1 model, Janus-Pro is completely free and open source, which is fantastic news for everyone. But here's where it gets interesting. Unlike typical image generators like Flux or Stable Diffusion that are built specifically for images, Janus-Pro is a multimodal AI. What does multimodal mean? Basically, it's an AI that can understand and work with multiple types of information. In this case, both text and images. It's not just limited to generating pictures from text prompts, it can also process and understand images themselves. DeepSeek has released Janus-Pro in 4 different sizes or versions, each with a different number of parameters. Think of parameters as the size and complexity of the AI's brain. The largest version naturally delivers the highest image quality, while the smaller versions are faster and require less computing power to run. So, you can choose the version that best fits your needs and your computer setup. Let's take a look at some examples of what Janus-Pro can create. As you can see, it's incredibly versatile when it comes to artistic styles. It can generate super realistic images, beautiful watercolor paintings, classic oil paintings, and even anime-style art. Whether you're after detailed macro photography, stunning landscape shots, Janus-Pro seems to handle it all with ease. And it doesn't stop there. It can also whip up pixel art and these really cool 2D digital art pieces that have a unique and stylish look. Because Janus-Pro is multimodal and understands text too, it's not just about pretty pictures. DeepSeek has put it through a series of tests called benchmarks to see how well it performs compared to other AI models. On one side, they tested its multimodal understanding, basically how well it can understand and reason about both text and images together. And in these tests, Janus-Pro outperformed other models of similar size. On the other side, they tested its instruction-following ability specifically for image generation, how well it can follow your text prompts and create the image you described. And again, when compared to models like Stable Diffusion 3 Medium, DALL-E 3, and SDXL, Janus-Pro came out on top. Now, to be fair, some might argue that Janus-Pro's image quality isn't quite as visually stunning as something like Flux. But remember, Janus-Pro is built with only 7 billion parameters, while Flux uses a much larger 12 billion. Plus, Flux is primarily focused just on image generation, whereas Janus-Pro is a multimodal model with broader capabilities. It can do regular text-based tasks and chat, in addition to image generation. The fact that DeepSeek has packed all of this functionality, multimodal understanding, image generation, text capabilities, into such a relatively small model, and still managed to outperform larger models in key areas is truly impressive. Seriously, hats off to the DeepSeek team. They are consistently pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI. And just like before, DeepSeek is making this technology accessible to everyone. Janus-Pro is completely free and open source. You can download the models right now and run them locally on your own computer. Plus, they've also set up a free demo space on Hugging Face so you can try it out online without needing to install anything. This is another amazing release in the world of AI this week, and it's exciting to see these powerful tools becoming more and more accessible to everyone. And there you have it. Another week, another wave of incredible AI tools hitting the scene. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next round of AI breakthroughs, because trust me, there's always something new and amazing just around the corner. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.